everyone, and welcome to Mercy Kill. This is episode 52, Final Fantasy 1, PSP, and Pokemon trading card game for the Game Boy Color with Leggy Starscream. Couple announcements on behalf of GDQ. Flame Fatale will be having its next all-women speedrunning event, Flame Fatale, from August 21st through the 27th. The marathon schedule is now out. Type !FF in Twitch chat or go to gamesdonequick.com/Flame Fatale for more information. Prize submissions are now open and check the site for more information on that. One and Done-a-thon is coming up this weekend, August 13th through the 14th. It is a marathon where you can show off your very favorite run, and that's your only appearance in the One and Done-a-thon series. The schedule is now out. Use !OADAT in Twitch chat to learn more. Hey, I actually got that acronym right tonight. Go me. Leggy, how are you doing? It's wonderful to have you here.
So confession time, I have not practiced at all.
Well, no, that's a good thing. That's the point of the show. That's perfect. Absolutely perfect.
In that case, I'm great. I am hyped. I am ready to race the timer.
Absolutely. So, Leggy, when I think of you, Leggy, I do think of Final Fantasy 1, and there's so many different variants of Final Fantasy 1. Do you have a favorite? Do you have one you play more often than not? I know you do a lot of Final Fantasy 1 randomizer.
Yeah, so, gosh. Under my belt are speedruns for Final Fantasy 1, GBA, PSP, Pixel Remaster, and I've actually helped develop for the GBA, Pixel Remaster, and NES Final Fantasy 1 randomizers. Picking a favorite version is like picking a favorite child at this point. They're all really interesting, but right now I've spent a lot of time grinding on FF1 Pixel Remaster to try and get a sub-2 time. Wow. The world record just got lowered to a 1 hour 46 minute, and some number of seconds I forget. And like that got me motivated to really grind it down. And that definitely is going to get in the way of me doing well here because the routes are just incredibly different. And as we'll soon see, this right here is the single most version of Final Fantasy, including the original NES version.
Wow. And again, like I said, if I could pick anyone to rely on for Final Fantasy 1 information, Leggy, you are the first person who comes up for me. So y'all might be wondering, okay, Leggy knows Final Fantasy 1. Why is Leggy playing Final Fantasy 1 here on Mercy Kill, the show known for rusty games? So, Leggy, what is so rusty and different about the Final Fantasy 1 PSP where maybe things might fall apart at some point?
Yeah, so for FF1 PSP, it is radically different from GBA or Pixel Remaster because of a unique glitch to this game. I won't get into details now because we'll be getting into it right away when the game starts. But it allows us to radically change our routing through the game, and it also makes this by far the fastest version of Final Fantasy 1.
Well, I am really excited. By the way, 145 estimate. Leggy was talking about a 2-hour thing and a familiar run. This is 145. We'll get into that more as the run goes. And again, as the always Mercy Kill disclaimer, no, I did not hustle Leggy to change the time for it to be faster. So don't go pointing the fingers at me. And I see you over there, YouTube. I know you're making those comments. So, Leggy, again, as always, keep it in your mind for me throughout this run and throughout both runs tonight. Remember, we have Pokemon TCP after this as well. Would you run these games again? Would you go for PVs again? And go ahead, you said you were about to say something?
Yeah, so, hi YouTube. I just want to state that, for the record, I picked my times based off of my usual marathon estimates for these runs when, I'm feeling fresh and, practiced. I wanted to go something that was both doable but definitely challenging. So don't go giving Sky any of that nonsense.
They really don't. I appreciate the lovely comments. I've seen all the compliments. I'm just giving YouTube high. Because again, YouTube is part of our audience as well, in addition to our live audience here. So the crowd is clamoring for some gameplay. Let's do it, Leggy. On your account, let's get going.
Well, first we got to name the characters.
Yeah. Totally forgot about that.
Yeah. Do you want to be the warrior, the thief, or the white mage?
I will take the white mage because I'm usually a caster when I play.
All right.
Who else do we want to take? Do we want to take Richard with us?
All right. Let's put Richard in. I can't fit the eye in Sky Bilson, but I can get Sky Blizz.
That's close enough.
Okay, well, we'll put Richard here. Okay. And then I think I know what I want to do for our thief.
Oh, okay. I'm gonna wait. Also, shout outs to Richard. That is our lovely GDQ tech.
Thieves are fast and slippery.
That's off. I love it.
So,
all right, on your count.
Yeah. Okay, we are all set up. I actually do need to make sure my party's in the right order to start, but we're ready to go. So we'll get started in 3, 2, 1, go.
All right, good luck and have fun. Let's hear it for Leggy, everyone. 145 is the estimate. Go, Leggy.
Yeah, so we're going to start off right away by completely skipping a cutscene, and then I'm just going to buy a hammer. Now you might be wondering, hey, Leggy, why don't you buy the rapier? That's such a better weapon. And I'm like, yeah, but watch this. My controller isn't working. Why is my controller not working?
Yeah, we're right within the first minute. I don't mind restarting the timer here, so go ahead and work with that for a second here, and I'll continue to talk a little bit about this game. Again, I've never played Final Fantasy 1, so I need to take some notes during this. I believe the only time I've ever touched this game was during a past GDQ hotfix show called Super Boss Brothers. We had to do that. So I remember we just had to do like a super short goal, but I was like, oh my gosh, I'm lost. I don't know where to go.
Where do I need to go?
That's okay. We don't mind if there is a controller thing going on. It's not a huge deal.
Yeah, so there we go. That should do it. Okay. Do we want to take it from the top or just keep going?
We can keep going. We will we'll start the timer again. Go ahead, give us a countdown. This is close enough to the beginning. It's good.
All right. Well, 3, 2, 1, go.
All right. Let's resume.
Okay, so we're going to... There we go. That's the glitch I was talking about. So it allows us to transmute gear into other gear by switching by pressing L or R at the same time that we... Wait. There we go. That we menu. We are basically tricking the game into thinking we have different items between weapons and armor. So, the hammer shares an in-game ID with the knight's armor, so that when we load our weapons inventory, it looks at... So that when we load our armor inventory and it looks at the indices for the weapons, it sees, oh, you have a hammer. Well, that's on knight's armor for armor. And the game also doesn't check... Oh, I also need to put the cloth armor back on. Doesn't check whether or not armor's in the right slot or not. It just lets you equip it. So we can, wear armor on our hands if we want.
This classic music, Leggy.
Right. Oh gosh, Pixel Remaster is already messing with me. Pixel Remaster has a couple of updated features, including diagonal movement, which is... I keep trying to go for instinctively at this point. It also has a really nice auto battle feature that was also featured in later Final Fantasy PSP games, but not in the original. So I actually can't just slam the auto battle button and go. Instead, I have to sit back and hit flee on every character, every battle that I'm running away from. We'll get into some other differences that will definitely also cause me some issues, but in the meantime, we've got more equipment glitching to do. If I can get it. Let's try going the other way. Easy.
Wow. I would say something right now, but like I'm in awe by this glitching. Oh my goodness.
I mean, it's a frame perfect trick, but you know, you get to pick the frame. You just have to press 2 buttons at the same time. Like, how hard is that?
I mean, you say frame perfect. That's not exactly easy to me, thinking about all the frame perfect tricks I've done throughout the years.
Yeah, but again, you do get to pick the frame, which is also really helpful. Like, you can sit there for 10 minutes until you're good and ready, and then just press it. But again, you know, you do have to press the 2 buttons on the same frame for it to work. I don't need to save here. Garland's a chump. I've got Knight's Armors equipped. This is Garland. He's gonna knock us all down. But we've also got Judgment Staves. Judgment Staves being one of the post-game pieces of equipment that you can get in Final Fantasy 1, GBA, and PSP. Nice crit there, saving us a turn. Everyone's gonna level up. But yeah, as you can see, we're kind of a little overpowered.
Kind of a little. I love this.
That's gonna basically be true for the vast majority of the game. Yeah, we've got the Judgment Staves now, but I forgot to talk to Sarah. Luckily, in everything after NES, she'll yell at you and make sure you take the loot. But yeah, we've got a couple of cutscenes coming up. Any questions from chat so far?
We have the Judgment Staff casts what again?
Flare, or if you're old school like me, Nuke. It's the different name for the same spell. And we... Sorry.
Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, we will be putting that flare casting to very good use.
Yeah, so all of the versions, there was a question about the versions. In terms of what I've seen so far, all of the versions have different types of glitches from what I can understand.
Yeah, so GBA is basically glitchless. We have not found any useful glitches in that game, as far as I know. Though Dragon Dark has done a full RNG manipulated run of it, which is impressive as all get out, where you're playing frame perfectly for an hour 46 in a row. This one has the equipment glitch, which obviously, you know, breaks this game in half and allows you to do some pretty just disgustingly overpowered stuff. And then Pixel Remaster has one big mechanical change that's arguably a glitch. You can go back and forth on it, and then one glitch that seems useful, but we haven't incorporated into the runs yet because the setup takes a little bit. In particular, Pixel Remaster has a glitch that allows you to turn any encounter you're about to take into a pack of 5 goblins. Which is very useful if you don't want to kill chaos. But additionally, it has some interesting mechanics around petrified party members that allow for some really interesting strats where you just take 2 black mages and throw fireballs at everything until the very end game. Of the world record routes, this is the only one that does not include a monk in it. And also the only one that includes a thief. I think it is also the only one that actually includes a white mage. Though there are routes for the other games that include white mages. But yeah, because we're getting so much additional power from our just overpowered post-game gear, we're going to spend most of our time running away from enemies. And a lot of the time in this game really comes down to how many encounters do you get, and how many encounters can you actually run away from quickly. As you can see, that took an entire round. We didn't get away. Wolves are very annoying here in the early game because our agility isn't that high, but we'll be fixing that up soon enough.
Come on, the otter's gotta make a getaway here.
Well, at least this time, the wolves will not get another chance to act. Alright, you nerds. Yeah, obviously, if this was a PB attempt, I would have reset the run the first time I failed to run away.
Oh my goodness, and then you'd have to sit through all that text again, yeah?
Yep, that's FF1 for you.
Oh my gosh, I could not imagine having to sit through text for that long. So when we do Pokemon TCG later, we're doing the tutorial skip, I assume, yeah? Yeah. I'm thankful for that, and I kind of wish I had learned tutorial skip back when I tried to learn how to speedrun that game, because you do not want to have anything like text or tutorials at the beginning of runs because of the volume of resets.
Right. Now, luckily, Pokemon TCG does allow runners to start immediately after the tutorial, which is really nice. Alright, so we're going to defend. Bushman staff, Bushman staff, Bushman staff. Ooh, pirates are playing nice!
Okay, that was really cool looking.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It looks really cool, but it does take a hot second for that animation to play out, which is why we'd rather run than have to cast that spell every encounter. Here, we're going to sell off the Knight's Armors. They are very expensive things that we could buy in a later town, but we use it to stock up on resources. I get my emergency gold needles later. Got it. Now, I do have notes because a lot of the menuing for equipment can be particularly spicy. And before we get out of the ship, we're going to do something fun. Hey, Sky, how do you feel about puzzles?
I try to avoid them in games at all costs, so if possible, I would like to find a speedrunning trick around a puzzle.
Well, it's been a hot minute because, so one of the other things going on is we're going to be doing the 15 puzzle, which is a very classic puzzle that I'm sure people will find extremely familiar once I boot it up if they don't know it by name.
I have a question from chat, by the way, if you're okay with that.
Yeah.
Someone asked, do you have any tips on general Final Fantasy playthroughs? I started with FF3 not so long ago, and it's so hard.
FF3 is a hard game, is what I'd say. But the real answer is don't be afraid to grind. And, you know, if you need to look up boss strats or whatever, there is no shame in doing so if you're just, like, really stuck on a boss. Anyway, so I'm going to need a little bit of focus time for this, because I do have to finish this quickly, and you don't do this in Pixel Remaster, so I'm a little rusty. There we go. Well, that tick up a bit. Okay, we're gonna go one more. Whoops. So yeah, the 15 puzzle of this game, when you solve it, you get rewards based off of your placement. I got second place, so I got Hermes sandals and something else, I forget what. It's less important. There is one big prize in particular I'm looking for here, which is an emergency exit, which allows me to exit any dungeon as quickly as possible. And it is really useful for a particular dungeon that'll be coming up here in a hot second. Okay, that was way better. I'll give it one more. Nah, we'll just go. It's nice. It's a 1 in 6 per attempt. But it's not strictly necessary.
That ogre looks intense.
Yeah. Ogres, really useful in other categories because they are worth a boatload of gold and experience, but we don't need experience, and we have infinite gold, basically.
Yeah, chat's experiencing some, we'll call it maybe not so fond memories of the puzzles you just did, Leggy.
Yeah, so of course I get poisoned. Please let me run. Yeah, they're actually fairly straightforward once you learn the algorithms. It's just, you know, that always takes a few seconds. Gonna heal up here. Just to be safe. Wolves are still the worst, But the nice thing is, unlike, other categories, everyone's only taking 1 point of damage right now because we have some very good armor on. Anyway, so for those of you who are familiar with this game, we're coming up on Marsh Cave. For those of you who are familiar with me, Marsh Cave is the worst. It remains the worst. Luckily, in this game alone, it's slightly less bad than every other version. The big things we have to watch out for in here are basically those packs of undead right there. Because they have stun touch. Their basic attacks can inflict paralysis on the party when they hit you. Paralysis in Final Fantasy I is awful. One sec.
One second, just obliterating the entire board.
Yeah. That fight is terrifying in every version of the speedrun that is not PSP. Because those Pisco demons, if you have fairly standard armor on, will just tear through your light warriors like tissue paper.
So we have a question here from chat. Does the speedrun not work in the Pixel remaster?
I mean, the equipment glitch does not work in the Pixel remaster. You can still speedrun Pixel remaster. I speedrun Pixel remaster. It's just, honestly, a very different speedrun. And like, compared to this, your early game is way more volatile. Because so much of what you want to do early depends on how much money you get. For instance, the first time we get to Elfland, which is the town you saw me pop into the castle of and then just piece back out of, depending on how much money we have, radically changes how the next couple of fights go for Pixel Remaster. Honestly, it's still an incredible speedrun. Highly recommended. It's just very different from this one. The other big thing that changed in Pixel Remaster is you'll notice when I stepped on the tile in front of the chest is when the Pisco demons jumped out and attacked me. In Pixel Remaster, they changed it so that there are no more enemy tiles. Instead, all enemies will... one sec, I need to start thinking about the next fight. I am, in fact, going to safety save here. What was I talking about? Oh, that's very good. Yeah, so Pixel Remaster, very volatile early. The other big thing that Pixel Remaster has going on is you saw Astos cast Death there. In every version of Final Fantasy I until Pixel Remaster, Astos will either physically attack you or cast Death on the first turn. And then if he casts Death, the next turn he will either physically attack you or cast the second spell he's got, and so on and so forth. Pixel Remaster says, what if they just did whatever they wanted? And so, instead of following a set script of abilities and in order, if a Pixel Remaster boss goes to cast a spell, they'll just cast whatever they feel like at the time. This can be good in some cases. You can avoid, for instance, an opening Blizzara from a certain boss coming up in a little bit. It can be very bad in a lot of other cases, such as the Chaos fight being the single most volatile fight in all of Final Fantasy I speedrunning.
Yeah, I think the chat was talking about Chaos towards the beginning, and I was wondering what the significance of that fight is.
It's just the final boss. You know, nothing too exciting going on there, except, you know, he's got 20k hit points and spells that do several hundred damage each round. And, like, the NES version, Chaos only has 2k hit points, which is a lot easier to manage. In GBA, PSP, and Pixel Remaster, so much of your prep is centered around a singular question. How do we kill Chaos?
There was another question from the chat, and I feel like this always comes with a lot of different RPG speedruns in particular. How much grinding has to be done in the speedrun? We notice you've been fleeing a lot, so I have to assume not much.
Yeah, the answer isn't much. Like, we'll get most of our XP from bosses. There will be a small grinding section in Ice Cave, if you know which enemies we're fighting. Then, well, I guess you know. We'll talk about that when we get there. But it isn't like... It's usually like maybe 10 minutes tops. In GBA, you do a lot more grinding in that same spot. In Pixel Remaster, interestingly, because they took away the tiles to grind on, you can't grind in the same way that you do in games like in older games like this one. So what you do is you just fight a bunch of stuff as you go, and you're blowing it up with your black mages.
Oh, this music.
Yeah.
Yes, there is, to my knowledge, at least one version of the randomizer from Final Fantasy I. I don't know how many different randomizers there are for Final Fantasy I. Maybe Leggy might be able to answer, but yes, there are randomizers for Final Fantasy I.
There are 3 different ones to my knowledge. There could be more. But I have helped develop a randomizer for NES, for GBA, and for Pixel Remaster. And in fact, I have presented both the Pixel Remaster and NES ones on Sky's other GDQ show, Random Number Generator.
Which is also an awesome show. I love randomizers. And one of the reasons why I like Mercy Kill is, you know, if you don't remember where you're going or what you're supposed to do, it kind of is like a randomizer, yeah?
Right?
Oh, goodness.
Yeah. I do have my notes up, mostly because I need them to remember what I need to use to do my equipment glitches.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, notes are always allowed here because the primary reason why I allowed notes, and this is for any game really, is what if you play a game that's not in English, you know, not the English version? I don't want people to have to try to struggle to remember menuing. So that's one of the reasons why just across the board I permitted notes for Mercy Kill. But it does help for very complicated glitches as well that we may want to see and revisit. And why exclude that when you can just have notes out? So I'm glad you brought your notes with you today.
Yeah. Luckily, you know, things like maps and enemy encounters are very consistent from version to version across this game. So I don't need to remember, like, oh god, what is this boss weak to? I've got that, like... yeah, I need that, and I need that. And we're going to do a bit more glitching.
So I have to ask, because you are so passionate about Final Fantasy I, and because you've worked on randomizers for Final Fantasy I, have you considered making like an Iron-esque challenge? You know, we have Iron Man, Iron Bros. Have you considered maybe trying to come up with some kind of Iron challenge to kind of put some more life into Final Fantasy I, if you will? Get people like revved up for it and then ready to play the randomizers even more so.
Oh, that's actually a really interesting idea. I hadn't thought of that.
Yeah, I figured if anybody would come up with something like that, you would, because again, you absolutely love this game and many different versions of this game.
Yeah, honestly, there are a couple of different challenges that already exist that probably fill a lot of the same slot for people, such as doing particularly nasty randomizer flags, especially the NES version, which is by far the most feature-complete version of Final Fantasy I randomizer. It's got the biggest community, and it's got the largest pedigree.
And speaking of community here, oh, sorry, go ahead, finish that.
Yeah, but the other like main challenge run I've seen of Final Fantasy I is doing either randomly selecting your party or doing like single character challenges where you just kill off 3 of your 4 light warriors at the beginning of the game and see what you can do with it.
Oh, wow. Speaking of the community as a whole, someone asked, if you've never speedrun a JRPG before, is Final Fantasy I Pixel Remaster a good place to start?
So in terms of picking it up, learning it, and understanding what's going on and how to get through it, yes. However, it will be a very good test of how much you personally are willing to deal with nasty RNG. Because that game is nasty RNG video game as a run. So it's not representative of all JRPGs. No game ever is. You know, everything is its own unique thing, but it will provide you with an interesting upper limit to how much variance you enjoy in your speedruns. It is also a fairly safe run overall. Like, you know, between this, between it and GBA, both of them are very safe games in terms of how much dying costs you, because you save before every hard fight, and then resetting doesn't actually take too much time. Versus other things like I've been trying to learn Mega Man Battle Network 1 recently, specifically the single segment version, where the run stops being a single segment version the moment you die.
A little bit of flashing here, so we'll do our best to give you all a little bit of a flashing warning here.
Yeah, I do believe that's the worst of it in this game.
Okay, cool.
But yeah, if other games that I would think of for a first JRPG speedrun include Final Fantasy Legend 2 for the original Game Boy, Pokemon Let's Go for the Switch. What else? Apologies, I am thinking about the run and about other runs, and but really at the end of the day, the best game to speedrun is one that you already love. Like, if there's a JRPG out there that you're like, yeah, no, I really like playing this, and you look at it and it's like, okay, maybe Final Fantasy IX ain't gonna be your first choice for a speedrun, given that it's, 9 hours long. So there are some exceptions, but in general, like, the best one is a game you already know and love and want to watch the first 10 minutes of for hours on end. Because that's what speedrunning really is. There's Barbarian Sword, equip a knife, Black Mage gets the Sage's Staff, Warrior gets the Barbarian Sword. And this is the part where my physical fighters start doing obscene amounts of damage. The Barbarian Sword is the endgame sword to end all endgame swords. If you've played Final Fantasy I, other versions of it, and you thought the Masamune was broken, you have not seen anything yet. We're coming up on an Earth Cave, which also means we're getting our first look at unrunnable encounters. Unrunnable encounters are the worst, because you can't run from them. One of the nice things about Pixel Remaster, there are no unrunnable encounters in that game. They took that feature out. Which...
Wait, that didn't look like a Minotaur. That looked like a Zubat from Pokemon. What?
Also, can we just talk about how flat the Snake Sprite's neck is? Gotta talk to the bats. The bats are friends.
Oh, bats are... I thought those were the encounters. Okay.
Yeah, no, they are just NPCs. You talk to them, they say, key, key. And then you keep going on your merry way. Packs of undead like that, like I said, Stun Touch is a status effect dealing basic attack that inflicts stun. Stun is the worst status effect in Final Fantasy I. It locks you out of your turn and it has a 25% chance to wear off. Many a Final Fantasy I runner, specifically Final Fantasy PSP, has lost a, PB attempt to getting stunned and the party just deciding to sit there for 10 minutes while the enemy slowly littles them down one hit at a time through their armor. So this is the part where I'd be using that emergency exit, if I had one. But instead, we're just going to take the long way out. There we go. And we're out. That was honestly shockingly painless.
I love that sentence. Honestly, shockingly painless.
Yeah, I was expecting to get, like, a few more encounters along the way there. But, you know, I'm never gonna say no to fewer encounters. These guys, I'm still going to queue up a Fyra on. A lot of encounters that are nasty, I will have everyone run except the Black Mage will cast a spell. Hopefully, what that will mean is that either we'll run away, or we'll spend some time and the Black Mage will do the Black Mage thing of offensive AoE magic and end the encounter that way. Also,
well, that is, Go ahead. I was gonna say, that's a pretty well-defined set of sprites, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, it's a stone golem. He's been chiseled.
Oh, okay, I see.
But yes, no, the Titan there is, you know, one of my favorite sprites in this particular version. By far the best rendition of the Titan across all versions of Final Fantasy I. Anyway, we are in Sardis Cave. He lives out here in a cave by himself, surrounded by, you know, various forms of enemies. We're gonna get the Earth Rod, because I was talking about something else. I forgot to do the whole gag of, oh, here's the vampire, the fiend of the Earth Cave. Oh no, it wasn't actually the vampire. No, it's Lich. We're gonna go fight Lich. Lich is a jerk. No one likes Lich. Lich opens by casting Blizzara, which does a mountain of damage. With our setup here, it is possible for the thief and the fighter to outspeed Lich and defeat Lich before Lich gets a chance to attack. Lich also has a chance to just use a physical attack instead of casting Blizzara, but this is probably going to be the first part of this game where things get very dicey. And the only time that Lich is not a terrifying encounter is in the randomizers where you go to Lich, like, last with your super overpowered party and just steamroll the chump. I love the music of this game too much.
Oh, same. It's really good.
Right? Like, every version of this game's music, even going back to the original NES full-on chiptune, is just incredible.
That's about as close to a bonk as you're gonna get in an RPG.
Right. And again, it's because I've got that diagonal movement muscle memory built in, and that just does not exist in this game. Anyway, we're back in the vampire's room. Now we go out the secret back door. and find some ogres. This isn't their swamp. We already beat Marsh Cave.
Well, this looks mildly terrifying.
Right? But yeah, we find this plate back here. We crack it open with the rod. And go even deeper. Like Inception. Gotta go deeper. So the other nice thing about this game is the preemptive and ambush encounters. Ambushes obviously are bad because, you know, the enemies all get a chance to punch you before you get to go. But preemptive encounters have a nice feature to them, which is if you try to run away when you've got into preemptive, it happens 100% of the time. So it makes preemptive encounters that much more valuable in this version of the game. You cannot get a preemptive or a ambush in encounters you cannot run away from, which is another interesting point. Alright. Alright. And there goes Lich.
Wait, that's it? I blinked and missed it, Leggy.
When Lich goes well, you blink and you miss it. When Lich goes badly, you blink and you miss it in the other direction.
Wow.
So there's crystal number 1. 3 more to go. And we've restored the balance of the elements to the world or something.
We're coming up on 44 minutes so far, and our estimate here is 145. How are you feeling so far about the estimate, Leggy?
I'm feeling pretty okay. Like, again, Lich is potentially just a massive wall. So the fact that we got him first try feels really good. Granted, I don't have my splits up, so I don't know, like, where I'm at relative to my PB. Or even, like, a marathon run. I'm just going, I'm vibing, I'm chill.
So it took you approximately an hour to get the first crystal. Do the other 3 go fairly fast, relatively speaking?
Yeah, so next thing we're gonna do is get the airship. And from there, we're just gonna knock them down one by one by one. Which is honestly universally true across all FF1 speedruns. Like, the opening segment's kind of a little slow, you know, you gotta get the ship, then you gotta go to Marsh Cave, then you gotta come out of Marsh Cave and talk to Astus and talk to all these other people to get the Mystic Key so you can get the TNT so you can get outside. Like... But at this point, we are just going to move. In a perfect world, we would have ran from here. But the more damage we can get on our 2 melee attackers, the better right now. Because we're coming up on that grinding section I mentioned earlier. And specifically, we're going to be grinding to put levels on our mages so that they can learn some higher level spells. Yeah, hop in the armor shop. Interestingly, and this is something I noticed, but for the purposes of this run, we always buy the last thing in every equipment shop we go to. I don't think it has any significance, I just think it's neat. Now we're going to switch these two so I can put the gear on the Black Mage now, because sadly the stuff we're glitching, only the warrior can equip. So we can't do the thing we were doing with the hammers where both the white mage and the fighter can equip them. Real quick. Good. The good news is that so far, I have not tried to run away from an unrunnable encounter yet, and for that, I am incredibly proud of myself. I make no promises that I won't break my streak. But for now, every river encounter is runnable. How you doing, Sky?
Oh, I am just big vibing with this game right now. It's always fun to see you play in this.
Oh yeah. It's such a cozy run. It's really easy just to get lost in how beautiful it looks and sounds. Which is...
I noticed you had the second crystal according to screen. Do you get them out of order? I should have asked you that earlier.
So they're out of order on that screen. We get them in the appropriate order that the game intends you to. They're just shuffled around a bit. For, I honestly don't know what reason. But like, even in the original NES version, the crystals weren't in like the order that you'd get them. But yeah, in particular, you need to get the Earth Crystal in order to get to any of the other crystal dungeons. Because getting the Earth Crystal is what prompts the guy in the town we just were at to give you the canoe. Which... this is unrunnable. Glad I stopped and thought.
The other thing I did want to mention is y'all be sure to give Leggy a follow. That is twitch.tv/LeggyStarscream, all one word and all lowercase, by the way. As per the Leggy Starscream official style guide.
Look, it's just a copy and paste of the Author Blues official style guide. I didn't even change to say Leggy.
Oh, goodness.
I'm going to take a moment and save here because this can get spicy very quickly. There is an enemy I ran away from not a moment ago that knows Thyraga as their first spell. And while you may be looking at this and be like, oh, Leggy, you know, your characters, they're only taking 1 damage per hit. Surely they must be really powerful right now. And I'd look at you and be like, yes, they're very physically resilient. Physically. Alright, I think that fight is runnable. Whoops.
We need lowercase font for the UI. I'll be sure to bring that up at the next meeting.
These guys are also the worst. they know the ability Trance, which is an AoE stun. Yeah, apologies, I just had a bit of a frame drop, but we should be back to normal now.
Oh, that's something that could be in my nightmares. My goodness.
Yep. That is the Evil Eye, also known as Wizard of the Coast lawsuit against Final Fantasy. So back in the day, and I don't know if y'all noticed when we saw the Pisco Demons earlier, but if you've played any Dungeons & Dragons, you might be looking at it going, hey, wait, that's a Mind Flayer. Correct. You would be correct there. This game very much played fast and loose with some of the monsters from Dungeons & Dragons, including Mind Flayers and Beholders, which we just fought. Anyway, here's our grind. There's 14. Yeah, so these Evil Eyes are also just some of the best experience you can get. And since they're here, both this run and FF1 GBA gets most of their level grinding done on the Evil Eyes. Are we 16? Okay, I'll just dump a few potions. That's it. I'm going to take one more for safety. We want to get to level 19 by the time we get out of the next dungeon. So, a little extra can't hurt. You know. It might be mercy.
Would.
Yeah, it might be mercy kill, but dying's still slower. Oh, and I'm going to get her up. And I do not want to forget that. That would have been really bad to forget in a marathon.
yeah, that's just a little important. Just a teeny tiny bit.
And maybe just a bit. Gonna get away from these nerds. All right. And now that we're out of Ice Cave, we can breathe a little. Like, nothing is really scary at this point until the final dungeon. Which is exceptionally scary.
Well, yeah, I kind of expected that to be the case. I remember when you played Randomizer, that dungeon was pretty scary.
Yeah, that has not stopped being the case. Because, like, while we've got plenty of armor, which helps a lot against various physical hits, things get a little rough when you're looking at magical damage, because the best we can do is get elemental resistance, which will cut the amount of magical damage we take in half for spells of the given elements. But that's it. There's no, like, magic armor in this game. No, like, magic defense stat in the same way that there is for physical. So we're still taking the better part of the damage where we'd otherwise be getting in. And since we have all this amazing gear, we're doing this fairly low level, so our HP totals aren't exactly the highest. Who's ready for FF1 DLC? Because I have not gone into this dungeon since the last time I played this game.
Wow.
That's not true. I did it the last time I did a randomizer. That was still a while ago. But yeah, we're gonna fly over to Castle Ordeals, or the Citadel of Trials, depending on whether or not you're a boomer. I am enough of a boomer that I tend to refer to things by both names. And in here, we're going to be picking up a very important item that we'll need for doing some equipment glitching, as well as the Rat's Tail, which will allow us to class change. There is a new route of this game that skips coming over here to Ordeals. However, it is much less consistent, and it kind of came out about the time I stopped playing. So I do not know it at all.
Would you find that you change versions of Final Fantasy I in terms of what you speedrun, just kind of based on what you're feeling and what you need a break from, or do you ever take a break from Final Fantasy I altogether sometimes?
Oh yeah, no, I cycle through a lot of different speedrun games. Basically, you know, just depending on where my vibes are. So right now, you know, I'm super into grinding out FF1 Pixel Remaster, but, you know, I still shuffle a few things in there. You know, I do Pokemon, I do other JRPGs. It all really depends on... Oh, I also play a bunch of different randomizers. So it all really depends on how I'm feeling. And, like, you know... But I will say that I basically low-key retired from this game after the last marathon run of this particular run I did. Purely on the back of my time being at the point where the grind just stops being enjoyable. I mean, that's the thing for me, you know. I have to enjoy the playing the game. If I'm not having fun, then why am I even here?
That's really good speedrunning advice in general, like, that I feel like folks need to talk about more. Is it's okay to burn out, just know when to take a break, and that doesn't mean you can't visit other games. It's just good every now and then to take a break so you don't burn out. Exactly.
Like, I love streaming. I love playing games live on the internet and hanging out with my friends while I do so. Some games, you know, are fun race games, I'll call them. You know, you go around, you mess around, RNGs all over the place, and you know, you do what you can to get through. Other games, you know, are fun to grind, and like, I enjoy grinding out the super RNG heavy games too, but after a certain point, they start to wear at you a little bit when you're, you know, a week or two in to a grind session and you just haven't gotten a run off the ground because your RNG has just not lined up correctly. And it's demoralizing as heck. And that's when, you know, I'll take a break. I'll play a new randomizer. I might learn a new game. Might switch up to a game that's like been on the back burner that I've been itching to get back to. Like right now, you know, I'm deep in the Pixel Remaster grind, but yeah, I've bounced off it for a little bit here and there. You know, I'm still at it, but I mix it up with a couple of other games. Like I've got Final Fantasy Legend 2 in Frame Fatales coming up, so you know I'm mixing up the grind with practicing that. I took the weekend to finish getting a run of Mega Man Battle Network done. You know, there's just a lot of stuff you can do so that even if you burn out on a game, you don't have to burn out on hanging out and playing games. Oh, right, that's the wrong one. They added that. That's a bonus dungeon they added for the GBA version that they carried over into this one. We saw the Earth Gift Shrine opening up after we defeated Lich. That's the fire one. The whirlpool outside of Melmond is the water one. And the air one is somewhere in the waterway outside of Crescent Lake. I forget exactly where. They're bonus dungeons. They've got bosses from Final Fantasy 3, 4, 5, and 6 in them, including fan favorite Ultros. And it's where you get a fair bit of the endgame stuff. They're not barbarian swords. I'll show off where we get those when we see it.
Yes, this is the PSP version of Final Fantasy 1. I don't think I've ever seen this version either. Typically, when I've seen Final Fantasy 1, it's either the NES version or the remastered. So this is a treat.
Yeah. This is by far one of the most historically popular speedruns for Final Fantasy 1. Just because it is, you know, like the hour 45 mark where other versions are... Right, I need to sell the rest of my Knight's Armors. So, like, GBA for the longest time was, like, 2.5 hours. And Pixel Remaster only just came out. Not to mention, NES has a lot of, you know, weirdness to it from being an NES game that has some poor implementation, you know, going on with it, which, you know, happens. Oops. But like a lot of the buff spells in the original NES version don't work. And there's a whole bunch of other weird, fascinating, but weirdness to that game that makes the speedrun interesting, but difficult. Plus, it's on a step route because of how the encounter table works, whereas all the other versions I've talked about have just fully random encounters based off of, you know, an RNG call.
I have another question for you, Likey. What are you working on your stream right now, and when do you stream?
Yeah, so I usually stream nowish.
That's perfect, yeah.
Yeah, I stream about this time on my channel. Right now, like I said, I'm working on the Pixel Remaster grind. I want to get back to running Let's Go. I've got a friend Dijon Ketchup, we want to carve out some time to do Let's Go Diploma. So we'll catch all 150 Pokemon across both versions of the game. I play Pikachu, she plays Eevee. As mentioned, I'm grinding out practice reps for Final Fantasy Legend 2 because I've got that in a marathon. And I keep talking about how I want to get back to playing Kingdom Hearts 2 rando. I should just do that one of these nights.
Yeah, why not? It's really fun to watch.
Right? Phoenix down, revive everyone. Heal everyone up. Yeah. Though, Sky, I will say, I was watching last night your random number generator show. And why does DK64 look so fun? Like, why does that randomizer look so good? I was not ready to be, excited and actually want to play it.
Well, from what I can understand, it's one of the randomizers that we've had on that show where you don't have to know the vanilla version to enjoy or appreciate it. So maybe that's why. Maybe it just seems like that much more accessible than some randomizers where it's like, yeah, you have to beat the vanilla version versus to know what's going on. So maybe that's part of the allure.
Yeah, I just watched another great friend, Amethyst Rocks, do 101% of the DK64. And, that was a time. And then I'm just watching the rando, and I'm watching both runners just, be like, yeah, no, I'm having a blast doing all this wild stuff. It's always fun to see how randomizers are designed and how they breathe life in different ways into the games that they're randomizing. Anyway, that's 2 crystals down.
That one went pretty fast.
Yeah, at this point, we're definitely a little strong relative to what the game expects from us right now. We're gonna buy the most powerful spell of the game, Haste, and Lazara. So now we've got the level 2 spells of all 3 elements that the Black Mage can pull from. Fly up here to Melmond. And we're going to pick up 2 more spells. We're going to buy Healara, which is an AoE healing spell, and exactly how we're going to survive the Chaos fight. And we're going to pick up Teleport for the Black Mage, which isn't as good as Exit. Exit only lets you get out of... Exit lets you just get out of the dungeon you're in completely, whereas Teleport only brings you back up a floor. And while it's technically not as good, it's got some very particular use cases that allow us to utilize it quite well in the next 2 dungeons we're in. Okay, so this barrel right here is one of the most frustrating things because each version of Final Fantasy just can't decide whether or not it should default to yes or no for the question of do you want to get into the barrel. Pixel Remaster, it's yes. Here it's no. And if you say no, you just have to talk to it again. But It's a speed run. Every little bit counts.
This is a very classic way to do water. You know, you go in the platformers, you get the water physics. You go into a RPG, and it's just like, here's this wavy water graphic, and that's it. Now we're in water.
Right? If there's one thing I love this version for above all else, it's the like really neat little like overlays they put inside the dungeons that like add that extra layer of verisimilitude. Magic. Fyra. This is one of 3 unrunnable encounters in this dungeon. The other being the massive pack of Sahagins and water elementals by themselves. The one that had that water naga that we saw earlier, obviously I ran from, as we all saw. Again, I'm going to be running away from everything except for the stuff that I can't.
Oh, this song right here.
Yeah.
So good.
And this particular mix of it is just incredible. There's the slab.
The Rosetta Stone.
Yep. We'll see why it's called that momentarily, but first I'm gonna use an ether real quick, and then we're gonna teleport down a floor.
By the way, about a half an hour left. We're almost at 1:14 right now by my count.
Okay. Might get a little spicy. But hey, you know, I definitely stopped, I definitely talked a little, you know.
I see nothing wrong with this. We're having a great time here. And again, y'all should go follow Leggy. I enjoy Leggy's company and Leggy's stream, so please be sure to give Leggy a follow. That's twitch.tv/LeggyStarscream. All one word, all lowercase as well.
And of course, if you aren't following Skybills, do that as well. Skybills is an incredible streamer, one of my favorite people to have on as I'm winding down for the night.
Aw, thank you. I appreciate that.
Okay, this floor is interesting because in the room directly below this one, there is a treasure box that we get in every single other version of Final Fantasy I. It contains the Giant's Gauntlet, which allows the user to cast Saber on themselves, which is a very fantastic buffing spell for physical fighters. We don't get that here, because we're just so overpowered. Instead, we're going to get this axe that we're going to glitch into survival vests. And then... And when I'm well practiced at this game, one of the things I will do is like offer a donation incentive for how many times I miss the equipment glitch. That ain't happening now, chat. Helmet and... gloves, and then weapon on... So, what are the other little things I did talk about? You'll notice that I've been putting lordly robes on the shield slot, but I haven't been doing that for any of my other characters. This is intentional. Because you're putting gear where it's not supposed to be, and the game has a small animation that plays if you block an attack while you have a shield equipped. And you put the wrong piece of gear in your shield hand, you soft block. So we have to be very careful about which pieces of gear we put there. And lordly robes are one of the pieces that do not soft block the game. Additionally, lordly robes, when equipped to the body slot of your armor, have a effect where you get a slow regen effect at the end of every turn, which is great for casual play. It's super slow for the speed run. So we also avoid equipping it on the body slot of our light warriors, because that way we don't have to worry about seeing that tick happen every time. Anyway, here's Kraken. We're gonna give him a whacking. There he goes.
Nice rhyme there, too, to go with it. Kicking butt and rhyming. I love it.
It is a well-practiced bit of commentary. Do not worry.
I love it.
All right, we got 2 more dungeons to go until the final one. What's the timer at again?
All right, I'm going to double check for you. I am showing a little over 118, and this is counting up, mind you.
All right.
I'll keep you updated. Whenever you need one, I'll give you one.
Yeah. We should be good for at least one try on Chaos, unless something particularly spicy happens between now and then. I ain't worried, though. We got this.
You got this, I believe.
Hey, you're in here with me.
That's true. That's true. I'm glad you did this. I'm really having a great time watching this.
Yeah, no, this is... I love Final Fantasy I in all its forms. And I think while we canoe up here to the Waterfall Cave, I just want to give a shout out to a couple of people who, you know, have made this game as important to me as it is. First and foremost, I want to give a shout out to Nikki Noel, Kaguya Nikki now, apologies. Another premier Final Fantasy runner in general, and also a extremely excellent Final Fantasy I speedrunner. Better than me in most of the games. I want to give a shout out to Silverfire and Sealy Faye, 2 wonderful, wonderful people I met through the Final Fantasy I randomizer, who have become just incredible friends and just wonderful people to know in general. And then, of course, I want to give a shout out to Demarine, my wonderful partner and best commentator of this game I have ever seen.
That is a bunch of awesome and amazing people. We've definitely had some of them on here too, like Demarine, for instance. I gotta have Demarine on here again sometime.
Yeah.
Big fan.
And I know for a fact she's got a few runs that she's super rusty on.
Ooh.
That one? Yeah.
Sorry to call you out there, Demarine.
I love you.
Oh.
You should do Odin Spear. And we're going to put the Knight Gigantax. We put the Barbarian Sword. Ribbon, Thief Weapon to Warrior Shield. And then we cast Teleport, and we're out of here.
There was a comment in chat, someone said, let's get Kraken. That's a good one. That's a very good one. Puns are also very much allowed here.
Mm-hmm. So that is the ribbon. It is the single most powerful piece of armor in Final Fantasy I. It only offers one physical defense, but it offers resistance to every single element. Notably, there are some spells that are non-elemental, and those are the worst. Gonna come down here. We're gonna go be goth for a bit. We're gonna go hang out with a nerd in a graveyard, and he's gonna use that Rosetta Stone we found to teach us the long-lost language of the elves.
I would love to listen to somebody just play a guitar riff of that song in town. Oh,
right?
So pretty.
So, gosh. Final Fantasy has a chamber orchestra group called... I know there's Distant Worlds, which is the main orchestral group. A New World. That's what it is. And I think they've done a rendition of the Final Fantasy I town theme. And if I'm recalling correctly, it is incredible. But yeah, so far we've been really good about not getting unrunnable encounters. So if you forget to talk to the good doctor in the graveyard, these people speak a language you don't understand that consists entirely of the word lupa. It's like talking to Moogles in later games. Personally, I think it's the linguistic origin of the Kupo speak. I have definitely, on the GDQ channel, forgotten to go down and talk to the good doctor before going to LaFane.
Oh, no. Yeah.
Yeah. Shoutouts to Tina's RPG show, I guess.
Yeah.
Alright. I promise I can menu.
What is menuing? Whenever I try to do a speedrun that involves menuing, I'm not very good at it. Especially if I'm in a high pressure situation.
Yeah, luckily that's not true. This is not a high pressure situation. This is cozy times.
This is very cozy time, yes.
Well, that's 2 unrunnable encounters 2 steps apart. Let's go.
No. That's alright. It was quick.
Oh yeah, luckily I was fully set up for it. More just like,
Okay.
Are you kidding me, game?
I have to know, who's rowing the canoe? That was something I was thinking about throughout the whole run. There's nobody rowing the canoe.
You know, I like to think they switch off, but honestly, it's probably... actually. I would say the fighter, but the fighter's petrified or dead sometimes. And, you know, the canoe is still rowing. So, I don't know. Chat, you tell me.
Chat's thinking it's a magic canoe or a All right, kayak or canoe. Someone's still got to be rowing it, y'all. Unless it's magic. That would be like the one instance.
Yeah, there is enough magic floating around, and we did get it from the Circle of Sages, who are, some of the wisest people in this world. You know what? I'm gonna go with its magic. That way I don't actually have to think of an answer.
Wait, 2 vampires? Wait, wasn't one of them a boss earlier?
Yeah, and now they're back.
That's
in pog
terrifying.
Form. Yeah, luckily the vampire was a pushover then. Even more of a pushover now. It's one of those things that RPGs like to do, We had the Pisco Demon boss down in Marsh Cave, and they came back in Ice Cave. We had the Evil Eye boss in Ice Cave, and we're going to see some of those once we take the teleporter. Once I get in the door. What is this, Super Mario World? So welcome to the Flying Fortress. Fun fact, in some games, this Flying Fortress is in the clouds. In some games, it's actually in space. And personally, I think it's cooler if it's in space. Oh, and I guess there is one more version of Final Fantasy 1 I want to get around to speedrunning at some point. That being Final Fantasy Origin Stranger of Paradise.
I don't know if I've ever heard of that one.
So it's a new game that just came out. Did you hear the, I'm here to kill chaos memes floating around for a while?
Yes.
It's that game. It's that game.
Oh, okay. Which, by the way, speaking of killing chaos, you have just about 15 minutes left.
All right. Probably make this happen. Odds are good. And assuming Lich doesn't hit us with the old flare, or white dragons don't ice breath us to death, or we run into Warmack and get exploded, or the list goes on for a bit. But it is important to note that my notes say that encounters with Warmack are extremely hype. Yo!
Oh, let's go!
Oh my god, I don't think I've ever seen Warmack in this game before. Oh my god, that's so good!
Wow!
I'm so happy right now.
Wait a second. This is one of my Magic the Gathering cards. Yee. It was from the Dungeons and Dragons set.
See, I told you. They stole half their good ideas from D&D.
Wow.
So a lich is a lich. I forget where they got the Kraken from, if that was specifically a D&D monster or just, oh, it's a mythological Kraken. Obviously, that's the Fiend of Water. Tiamat is, Tiamat, Queen of the Dragons from D&D, from Tiamat, a Mesopotamian goddess, I think? Don't quote me on that one, chat. And then Merilith is a kind of demon, or devil, I forget which, and the distinction is important in D&D. But it is a powerful rank of fiend in the Dungeons and Dragons universe. And that's where you get all 4 fiends from. Anyway, we have Phoenix down. And you're going to cast Healara a bunch. And then I'm going to feed everyone a bunch of ether. Can't believe we saw Warbeck. That's so good.
Okay, I have to know why this is significant. I know it sounds like it's rare, especially according to what I'm seeing in the chat, but I have to know what's so hype about it.
So Warbeck is the super boss of Final Fantasy I. He only appears on that one floor of that one dungeon, nowhere else in this game. And so, because of how the encounter rate works in this game, you only see one encounter on that floor. So the odds of seeing Warbeck versus some of the other rare encounters, like Iron Golems down in the bottom of this dungeon, the final dungeon, is significantly rarer in comparison. And so that lady in the cloak going to the back of the shrine here, yeah, that's the new bonus dungeon that the PSP version put into this. And that's where you get the Barbarian Sword from. But the other nice thing about Warbeck is, despite being like this extremely rare super boss, you can still run away, as you saw. Which is really convenient because nuclear hits like a truck.
Oh, I wouldn't doubt it. I mean, when I hear super boss, I mean, that's kind of what I expect.
Yeah. Though honestly, in this version, I still think Chaos is probably harder. But Green Dragons are unrunnable.
Death Eye.
Yep. Just an upgraded Beholder. So, Sky.
Yeah.
You remember that loot we got all the way back at the very, very, very beginning of the game?
Yes.
Well, it's time for the Roxala.
Ah.
Ugh.
10 minutes.
Doable. Starting to get a little spicier. Definitely not helped by the unrunnable encounter game.
So I assume you can lose runs here if you're going for a PV right here at the end, just because you run into too many unrunnable encounters.
Oh yeah, too many unrunnable encounters, plus there are some encounters here that are particularly nasty. Such as a pack of white dragons, which have caused a certain amount of consternation to some runners, even in marathons. And like in PB attempts, you just don't save because you're going. That takes time, and like if you're going to reset the run to keep going after you get a certain amount of experience with the run, obviously, you know, if you're starting out, you probably save a lot more and take a few attempts on things to be safe. So, Pixel Remaster has the fiends in orbs over the staircases here. This is not the case in this version of the game, as you can see. And there are some of them in some places, specifically the final 2 floors, where if I'm not careful, I will accidentally step my toe over the line. Oh, that's not good. We can recover.
Hey, I survived.
Yeah. That shouldn't affect us. Good. Okay. So yeah, Lich opens with Flare here, and as you see, it packs a bit of a punch. Should I have stopped and healed? Probably. But like, what's the fun if you're not living dangerously?
Oh yeah.
Agab effect. Agabas are runnable. Yeah, at this point, Marilith is kind of a joke. In other runs, that physical hit can do a little bit more. But here...
Like 5 damage?
Couple hundred?
Oh, that's a little bit of a difference.
Yeah, we consider that all of our characters have, like, post-game armor in every slot. Yo, shoutouts to the Lobsters, aka why did they call them sea scorpions in this game? Lobster was a perfectly good name for them. I'm going to die on this hill. So coming up is one of the 2 fiend fights that can be a little nasty, just because of where they put the encounter relative to the hallway. And in Pixel Remaster, it's on the staircase. In this, hi Kraken.
Hello. Oh, 5 minutes, by the way.
Oh boy. Okay. Yeah, we should have time for one good attempt on Chaos. If we're in the middle of an attempt on Chaos, even if the time runs over, am I still get to finish it out?
Depends on how close you are.
Yeah, because, like, if I set it up right, the Chaos fight is just hold X to win after a certain point.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
So, like, you know, we don't have to count it for the purposes of the scoreboard, but I would like to, you know, at least finish it off on stream. If
Yeah,
that's
we let ADF do that when it was close enough. It was within like 30 seconds.
Yeah. As we can see, Tiamat doing the AoE magic. Because we haven't put a shield on we haven't put a ribbon on the Black Mage yet. So the Black Mage going down here is expected. What's that? Black Mage. Magic. Lara. Okay, we're down on the bottom floor. I'm gonna Go here. We have one last bit of equipping to do. Okay, that's there. That's there.
3 minutes.
Page of staff. Items. Ether up. And let's go. Not gonna bother saving. I only get one shot.
Yep. Let's go.
Yeah. Oh no, Garland was chaos all along. What a twist!
What a twist. Let us know what time it is, too, should we get to that part.
Yeah, time will be last hit on chaos. The screen will flash briefly.
Okay, so there will be some flashing, too, on the last hit. Here you go.
Transonic U. Item. Transonic U. Magic. Delara. Magic. Feast on the Thief.
2 minutes.
Oh, that's not good. Yeah, that was probably the worst possible outcome here. So I need that Black Mage to be casting Haste. Okay, that's fine. Okay, we're back on track. Chaos is being very punchy, which is nice.
One minute.
Okay.
$30 seconds.
It's gonna come down to the animations.
Oh no.
I don't think I'm gonna make it because of the Black Mage wipe there, but I'm gonna make the timer because of the Black Mage wipe there, but I am gonna clear the fight. We are in the hold X and win stage of this fight. Yep. It's just down to chaos doing things that take time. The worst.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Ah, so close, Leggy. I'm so sorry.
It happens. Like I said, I put these right on that razor's edge. I am curious how far over this is gonna go.
Yeah. Like you said, it's not gonna be long. We did the same thing with 8F's fight. It's no big deal.
Yeah. Time.
1:45:11. Oh my god! Off by 11 seconds. Wow. That was even closer than 8F's loss, and 8F was pretty close. Wow.
So close. But hey, you know.
That was. Yeah.
That means I picked a good estimate.
Noble effort. That is one noble effort there, Leggy. I really enjoyed this run.
You know, I might have got Mercy killed, but I saw Warmech, so like, did I lose?
Oh, that was fun though. That was a lot of fun.
Yeah, so for anyone who's been here hanging out and being like, hey, I want to try and play this game fast, or any version of FF1 fast, there is a Discord for that. Linked on the speedrun.com page. It's kind of small, but super cozy and just a really good time all in all. So, do come down and hang out if you have any interest in Final Fantasy I for any of the different versions of this game that have come out over the years. We'd love to have you. We'd love to show you the ropes.
Absolutely. And folks, guess what? Mercy Kill is still not over this evening. This is not the end of Mercy Kill. We still have one more game that Leggy's running tonight. This is going to be Pokemon Trading Card Game, the most adored game for the Game Boy Color, depicting the old school Pokemon TCG. You're not going to want to miss that. Really quickly here, though, before we go to our wellness break here, please remember that your subs, Prime Gaming subs, gift subs, and bits cheered on the GDQ Twitch channel help support weekly hotfix content. Please consider subscribing if you enjoy these weekly hotfix shows. And with that being said, everyone, be sure to stay hydrated. Stretch will be right back with Mercy Kill. Welcome back to Mercy Kill. I am joined here by Leggy Starscream, and this is Pokemon Trading Card Game. Leggy, I just want to thank you again for that fantastic run of Final Fantasy I PSP. Oh my goodness, I know it was 11 seconds over, but I had a blast, and just thank you so much for that.
Yeah, no, I had a blast too, and like I told you, it was going to come down to the wire. If we hadn't seen some of those unrunnables in that final dungeon, you know, that could have gone the other way. That's the beauty of RNG, baby!
I love RNG speedruns myself, and speaking of RNG speedruns, this definitely has some RNG elements to it, and I can't wait. I am a big fan. This was so much of a hyped up run that we actually added a minute to the estimate during the break because we're like, what if it is like 130 and change again? So we did 131 here for the estimate. Leggy, are you ready to go? I'm super excited, and I cannot wait to see the tutorial skip here.
Oh yeah, so we're going to get started because that's going to actually happen outside of the timer that I'm going to have going so that like I could throw this on the leaderboard if I wanted to. One of the nice things about this is the tutorial is super boring. Like, boy. Because you'll notice I can't even update like the text speed yet. So it's a time. So one of the things that's on the leaderboard is that you can start with a save file that basically starts immediately after you do the tutorial, and you know your menus to set the text speed to less than a snail's pace. In exchange, they'll add 8 minutes and 3 seconds to your timer, which is about as optimal as you can get through the tutorial. The other caveat, of course, is it doesn't count as world record if you skip the tutorial. But for the purposes of the leaderboard, well, you don't have to sit and reset when you go into a tutorial bit of text here that you can't skip. Nothing to ask.
Now, Leggy, at some point, well, first of all, let us know when the timer starts. I think you said it was right after the tutorial skip.
Yeah, I will tell you. I will do a menu, I will set myself up, and give a countdown.
Cool. And I'll have you know that, maybe not right now, it is eventually on my docket to do a Kaizo Ironmon TCG. I would love to make a Kaizo version of this, you know, like Kaizo rules for it, you know, so you can't use like this card or that card. Like it essentially would be a ban list for this, and I figured that could be some fun.
Yeah, honestly, I think the easiest would be to do Popper.
I really like that idea. That's really cool.
Yeah, because all the cards in this game have rarities just like the, you know, paper TCG. And in packs, you know, you open rares and uncommons and commons. And what if you just play with the commons? So, as you can see, riveting gameplay right now. Riveting. Like,
oh yeah.
It makes perfect sense in the context of this game for this tutorial to happen. Because what if you're someone who just bought this game because it said Pokemon on it, and for no real reason.
Like, what is the category of this? I thought this was any % no tutorial.
Yeah, so now that I've skipped out of the tutorial, so basically what happens there is if you do the right inputs on the right screen, the game tries to select a Pokemon on the screen that is like out of bounds, and this causes, you know, your standard kind of weird code execution that counts the tutorial as a win. Or any duel as a win if you do that. And this was actually found by someone trying to verify a task of this game, and it desynced, and it did that glitch by accident, and people just spent a time just like going, oh my god, what happened? How does this work? Okay, but now I have done my menuing. I am set up and ready to go. Are you ready to count me in? Or am I ready to count me in?
Yes, on your count, Leggy.
Okay, so 3, 2, 1, go. So the first thing I'm gonna
have fun.
Yeah, so the first thing I'm gonna do is go into my deck and edit it and take out a bunch of Pokemon that I don't want to deal with. One of the interesting rules to this game in particular, the trading card, the digital version, not the physical one, is that you will always mulligan until you have exactly one basic Pokemon in hand with no penalty to you. So we go ahead and abuse that mechanic by editing our deck to only contain basic Pokemon we ever want to draw. Additionally, the guy I just talked to, if you don't have enough energy cards in your collection, will give you a pile of energy cards, 10 of each element. So we just go ahead and do that to jumpstart our collection of energy, so we don't really have to worry about getting energy cards for the rest of the duel. Then we start off by going to Fighting Club, where we meet Ronald, who is a clown. Talk to Mitch, the Fighting Club gym leader, club master. They're gym leaders. Who's like, all of my students are, you know, off at other clubs learning how to play Pokemon. You should go fight them. And then when you're done, you can fight me. And basically, all of the gym leaders in this, club masters, have different requirements needed to fight them, and the route we've set up basically is set up so that we don't have to worry about those requirements. Hey Sky, while I'm going, do you want to explain how the Pokemon trading card game works?
That is a very loaded question, but I can try to boil it down the best I can. So, what happens is, in this iteration of it, I'm not sure how much it's changed throughout the years, you have 6 prize cards, and you're trying to take all of your prize cards before your opponent does. That represents the 6 Pokemon that you need to knock out, just as if you would in the Game Boy game without cards. So, that's the basic goal, but there's more than one way to win. There's decking out, that's a pretty common way to do it. Deck your opponents out, I should say. Then the other way to win is to, if there's no bench left, no Pokemon left on the bench, and you defeat your opponent's sole Pokemon, guess what? You win automatically because there's no more Pokemon to summon to the field.
Mm-hmm. And that last win condition is actually going to be the most common one in this run. Just because, like, it's like we saw in that last one, you know, our opponent only had 2 Pokemon on the bench. So, we just ran away with the fight. We're still in very early Pokemon trading card game, so one of the things to pay attention to is that our trainer cards are super busted. We do not have the concept of a supporter yet, so we can play as many trainer cards as we want during our turn.
Yeah, I encourage, one of the things that I really like about this game is it really does do a good job of teaching you how to play this game. And I find that, Forbidden Memories looking in your direction, not every digital card game does a good job of doing that, but this one does a fantastic job, given how old it is.
Yeah, like, it helps that this was put out after the first 3 paper sets were printed. And it basically uses those cards, plus a few extras. You know, specifically a bunch of cards that only really work in a digital card space.
Yeah, and the cool part is this game even came with a promo that was in the game. It was a Meowth, actually. It was super cute looking, too. So, yeah, just all around fun. Would recommend this game. There's actually a sequel, too, that was never released in the North America, sadly. Would recommend playing that if you have the means to at some point.
Yeah, I've heard nothing but good things about that version.
Yeah, I still need to get around to playing that at some point.
We're going to discard energies, and we're going to go find ourselves another Pokemon so that we don't get Shadow Realmed by this Charmander.
Yes, chat. This is much more genuine to the trading card game than Forbidden Memories is to Yu-Gi-Oh! That very, very night and day in terms of how accurate the game is. Somebody asked me, do you want to explain all the various abilities of Magic the Gathering? No, that would take me a very long time.
And, you know, what's interesting is, you know, Magic hasn't put out a game akin to this in terms of, like, you're just sitting down and playing the card game, but there's also a story going on.
Well, there
in a while.
kind of is. There's Chandelure, which everybody has been asking me to play Chandelure. Yes, I will get around to it at some point. But that's the only one that I can at least think of that's even adjacent to something like this.
But that's ancient at this point.
Oh, yeah, absolutely, it's ancient, yeah.
Yeah, and, like, you know, we should bring back video games where the entire premise is you're running around and just playing a card game. You know, like this.
Yeah, sometime, Lee, you and I are going to have to sit down and talk about a more difficult rule set for playing this. I feel like that would be a lot of fun.
Yeah. Especially because, like, you know, some of the later fights are a little nasty. But yeah, we've cleared out the 3 gym trainers for the Grass Club, and now they'll tell us where their gym leader is. And I'm going to keep calling them things they call them in the mainline game just because...
I mean, it's what they are, essentially.
Yeah, like, it's the same deal. There's 8 gyms in an Elite Four, like, what else am I supposed to do?
Except in the non-trading card game, you don't have to deal with Steve.
Yeah, but you do have to deal with Agatha in, you know...
Yeah, that's
the OG Gen 1. And, like, Steve doesn't know Perish Song.
Oh, that hits me right in the feels, Leggy. No.
I'm not sorry, by the way.
I know you're not. It's okay.
Oh, I know. I wouldn't tell you I wasn't sorry if it wasn't okay.
5,000 seeds of Ironman later. Oh, goodness gracious. So, speaking of things you don't want to get hit by, this coughing has a really, really difficult effect where it gives you that kind of dual ailment that you have to deal with. And you just know, dual ailments in this are so terrifying. Venomoth is another one I can think of as well.
Yeah, luckily our wonderful Electric Club opponent cannot seem to draw grass energy, which I am grateful for.
Are we in the Electric Club? All I'm seeing is a bunch of poison Pokemon, or technically grass, in this game.
I mean, there's a Geodude on the bench. Well, it's a Graveler now. So this is about to end badly for me. Yep, and there's the wipe. Luckily, one of the things we do in this game is we save before every duel. Just because, you know, it's a card game. There's RNG involved. I guess I forgot to take the Charizard back out, huh? Yeah, I can worry about that at the next menu.
Dijon, thanks for saying Steve.
No, Dijon. Dijon is a wonderful friend and my go-to partner for playing this game. Like, we've raced this at a number of events together, and it is always a blast getting to hang out with her. She is wonderful.
I like my games to be a little RNG heavy. It keeps it interesting, you know?
Yeah, especially for racing. Okay. Yeah, like, this is not going great. Not gonna lie.
You got a chance to pick up time later on. I'm not too concerned about it. It can always sway in either direction.
Yeah, no, it's always one of these really early trainers that's just like a giant jerk to me. And it turns out it's Nicholas's turn.
Got a lot of fans of this game in chat. That makes me happy to know that people have passion for the old school Pokemon trading card game. I love it too.
And I mean, it's hard not to have a lot of passion for this game when, do you hear this banger of a song?
Oh yeah. I like this move by Leggy here. This is good.
Yeah, Diglett has no retreat cost, so I can just swap into the Charmander and Ember for 30 for the kill.
Well done.
Thank you, thank you.
Yeah, this game is delightful. I agree, Amber. That's one of the best words for it. Very, very, very delightful. Oh, we got some cute Pokemon emotes in chat too. Let's go.
Aw, yeah. Oh
I have
no.
a Pokemon emote.
You know what? This might be the first time in this game's speedrunning history where I play Charizard.
Really? I'm ready. I am very much ready. I love Charizard.
So what does the original base set Charizard say for its
Pokemon power?
Pokemon power, yeah.
Okay, it was something about the energies, and I'm trying to like conjure a picture of the card in my head right now. It has something to do with the energy type. There we go.
Okay, you can turn them into fire, and then you have to discard 2 energy cards to use Fire Spin. Okay, so I don't actually want to do that. I was right.
All right, all right. I'm glad I kind of remembered.
Okay, so I don't actually want to do that because it's going to burn, lol, 2 energies off of Charizard. So I want to actually build up a bit of a stockpile of energy before I go for Charizard. But I promise I will.
I had the spirit of the Pokemon power down. It was just a matter of remembering what the exact text was.
Yep. And you've played enough card games, as have I, to know how important that exact text can be.
Oh my gosh, chat. Prepositions in card games. And conjunctions in card games. We have a saying for it in Magic. I'm not going to say the full thing because it ain't family friendly. But what I can say is, read the heckin' card.
I was going to go with the family-friendly version I know, which is reading the card explains the card.
It does, absolutely.
Okay, so we're going to do a deck edit here, now that I've, finished showing off a little bit with the Charizard. We're gonna see what trainer cards we got. We got some good stuff. Okay. Put back on you. Get back like 3 of those and 2 of those.
But yeah, language is very important on cards, though, because especially if you're gonna compete like at a pretty higher professional tournament, you will get nabbed on language if you don't play exactly the way the language says you're supposed to.
Oh yeah.
Especially and or those two, or up to is another one.
Then. Sky, you've played enough Yu-Gi-Oh! To know that then is a word and a half in Yu-Gi-Oh!
Oh, no, not then. I think Yu-Gi-Oh! Actually has still some of the more complicated rules, with chains resolving in reverse. It's just,
Yeah, I mean, so from what I understand from, shout-outs to my wonderful fiancée, Zoe Vermillion, love of my life, incredible person. Who tried to teach me Yu-Gi-Oh! It went okay. But the way that I understand chains is that chains are basically just the magic stack, except you can't put new effects on it.
Yes. But I can't begin to tell you, I remember, because I played Yu-Gi-Oh! For 10 years, and some of it in pretty higher up tournament environments. And every single time I'm like, if they were to ever make an actual rule book for Yu-Gi-Oh! And probably Magic the Gathering by extension, it would be like a Funk and Wagnall's encyclopedia. Like, it would be that bad if it was in paper form. It would not be good for trees.
I mean, Sky, you've read the Magic Comprehensive Rules, or at least looked at them, right?
No, I have not, but I'm very interested now, and I'm going to research that after, because I just kind of wing it sometimes, I'm not going to lie. Yeah, no, Magic actually has the exact thing you're describing, and it is a massive, like, legal document of just like, okay, this is how literally everything in this game works. If I don't know, I typically just call a judge over before I do something. I ask about a general rule. Oh yeah. And that's what I've been going off of, but it would be cool to actually see the Magic Comprehensive Rules. It would be very cool. Yeah. And like the snarky answer is, well, Sky, where do you think the judges learned it from? Well, from the cards, but yeah, that's a good point about interactions. Hey, shout outs to all the judges out there, though. If you're watching this on Twitch or on YouTube and you judge Pokemon, Yu-Gi-Oh! Magic, shout outs to y'all. Y'all have been very much a help throughout these events, and just very, very much kudos and appreciation for that. Judges are the real MVPs. Oh, yeah, absolutely. But anyway, we're in our first boss battle. Bosses cheat in this game. Okay, that doesn't matter. So, by which I mean, they will always draw at least 2 energy and 2 Pokemon in their opening hand. I knew someone was gonna bring up banding. Don't get me started on banding, chat. I've never played it, but I've heard stories about banding in Magic. So, here's my hot take. Banding isn't that bad. Especially not that now that Mutate exists. Yeah, Mutate's only been in 1 set so far, though. It's just been on Ikoria. Yeah. Yep. Oh my gosh, that Snorlax dancing emote's cute. I love that. Oh, goodness. Defender, just to force the self-destruct if they want to go for the kill. Excellent. The leaders literally stack the deck, says Dijon. Yep. It's incredible. But, you know, it does actually make the fights, you know, reasonably difficult. But But chat, jokes aside, don't let like all the rules from these games, make you feel a little daunted. Don't feel daunted by the rules. Give it a try. Give these games a try at some point. Whether you try it in the Game Boy fashion, like this Pokemon trading card game, or whether you play like MTG Arena, like give these games a try at some point. Like it's really fun. The communities for them are fun as well, especially find a few friends to play with at your local game store. I highly encourage it. It's a great time.
Yeah, and the nice thing is, like, most trading card games, that have been out for a while have, that giant wall of rules, sure. But, you don't need to know all of them right away in order to play. Most card games have, like, starter kits and introductory packages that are super useful for learning how to play the game, as well as, like, if you can find a friend who already knows, they can walk you through, the basics of playing the games. And that would be my recommendation, is finding a friend.
And also, it's okay to make mistakes. You will make them, and you'll learn from them, and that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, like, especially early on, if you, like, you're just playing with your friends and you realize, oh my god, I just completely misplayed here. It's okay to be like, hey, can I take that back? Can I try again? If you got cool friends who are interested in helping you learn how to play the game, there's no reason to, like, get all hung up on the rules the first time. Now, obvious caveat, if you go into, like, an actual tournament setting, obviously, at that point, you're in a tournament and people expect you to know the rules. But, like, you don't go there right away until you feel comfortable, in a tournament setting, so. So I did a little cheeky play there, where I used my Switch to bring the Diglett out front. Diglett has 0 retreat cost, so I was able to switch it back out. And when you bring put a Pokemon on the bench, any negative status effects they have on them go away. So I was just able to swap Charmander in and out real quick and get rid of that paralysis.
I'm glad somebody mentioned this in chat. Do not use Forbidden Memories to learn how to play Yu-Gi-Oh! You can use this game to learn how to play Pokemon trading card game. There's no problem with that. Do not use Forbidden Memories to learn Yu-Gi-Oh! You'll be very confused.
Yeah, I would call Forbidden Memories kind of like a prototype of Yu-Gi-Oh!
Yes.
Rather than, actual Yu-Gi-Oh!
Yeah. Same thing with Duelist of the Roses. Don't use Duelist of the Roses to learn how to play Yu-Gi-Oh! either.
Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duel, which is out on Steam, is actually an unironically really good way to learn how to play Yu-Gi-Oh! It has a really good tutorial mode. It's online. It's basically Magic Arena, but for Yu-Gi-Oh!
Yeah, absolutely. And from what I can understand at some point, I've heard through the grapevine that Pokemon TCGO is supposed to get a little bit of a graphical overhaul, too. Which would be great. I would love it to look a little bit more like Arena. A little flashier,
But yeah, cycling back to the, learning how to play a game, like, heck, even when you're learning to pilot a new deck for the first time, it's useful to have, like, okay, I'm gonna try things out. If it doesn't work out, this is a casual learning experience. Like, Zoe, my partner, my fiance, just got a new Magic the Gathering Commander deck. And we were doing some test games before I came on here. And, there was a little bit of back and forth. Oh no, I'm gonna lose this duel. Oh geez, oh no. Sorry, I got so wrapped up in talking, I didn't realize this was going badly.
You hate to see it happen. You hate to see it. Don't use Falsebound Kingdom Learn Yu-Gi-Oh! There's no cards in Falsebound Kingdom! Yes! I would agree with that.
So, joking aside, this is an intentional loss. It's faster to lose usually, and you don't need to win to beat the game anyway, so. This is the hardest fight.
Really?
This is not a good hand. Yeah. So, Sky, did you ever play Pokemon TCG back in the day?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I was actually a gym leader at my local Toys R Us, and some people had to get through me to get a badge. So, yeah.
So Michael here plays a Haymaker deck effectively.
Yep. I'd seen that. I liked the Rain Dance deck.
Oh, yeah.
I also had an electric deck that kind of was cheap to play. It had like Chanseys in it and Zapdoses and Electabuzzes. Yeah, I did a little bit of my own creations too, but the most meta deck I played back then was Rain Dance.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Rain Dance was good times. That's the one I had as a kid.
Someone's mentioning the Yatagrasu era in Yu-Gi-Oh! And you can't see it. I'm shaking my head at you because I know exactly that era. I know because I played Chaos Emperor Dragon and Blackluster Soldier back then.
Good times.
Oh, yeah. That was the times where you couldn't just go to the internet to find a deck. You kind of had to wait for like the newest magazine to come in, or you had to go to a tournament and observe some games. I mean, you just couldn't get a deck list that easily back then.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've been doing card games my whole life, so I always love having you on playing this lady because it just really takes me back, you know?
Oh yeah, no, and that's one of the things I love about it too, because like, you know, I was, you know, the wee tyke playing this game, you know, back when it first dropped. I had this game actually growing up. I still have my original cartridge.
Yep, same.
And like, I've tried to watch modern Pokemon content to try and understand what's going on. It goes all the way. Yo, we got a Scyther.
I will say, out of the current games, Pokemon, in terms of like what would be called the standard format, is probably one of the more accessible ones. Magic is about to enter a rotation, which will also send Magic probably back into a more accessible format as well, that being standard. So, yeah. Either of those. I cannot vouch for current Yu-Gi-Oh! Unless you really like combo decks and you want to win by turn 2 after, like, you know, a 5-minute turn. But for Pokemon and Magic, I can definitely vouch for that. Someone was mentioning Flesh and Blood in chat also. I hadn't played Flesh and Blood, but I've heard good things about it.
Yeah, modern Yu-Gi-Oh! Is definitely a very different game than most other Pokemon. Pokemon is probably, honestly, the closest to Yu-Gi-Oh! Of, you know, like, the modern card games.
Oh, yeah.
Just because, like, Pokemon is like, oh yeah, draw 1 million cards, it's cool.
Looking at you, Bill and Professor Oak.
Yeah, like, it's gotten even more so now.
Also, Pokemon Trading Card Game Online actually has a limited format of its own. You can play with the pre-con decks, and you can only use the pre-con decks in the 1Q. I really enjoyed that as someone who was revisiting the game. I definitely would recommend that. It was fun.
Yeah. And of course, I also just spend a lot of time watching, you know, YouTubers play various card games. Like, you know, I am a huge fan of a whole bunch of content creators for all 3 of the games we've been talking about.
Wigglytuff, that was a classic right there, the Do the Wave deck.
Okay, now I'm going to do my first complete deck overhaul. We're going to put some Pokemon away for a minute. Pull out this Raichu, pull out... We do not have an Electabuzz. So we're just going in on the Pikachu plan. We're going to see how we're doing on trainers. Ooh, honestly a little spicy on trainers. Okay. So now we're going to switch out for a electric deck for the rest of the water gym. Because a lot of the water Pokemon in this game are weak to electric types. To simplify things for, you know, paper play, each Pokemon has up to one weakness and one resistance in the Pokemon trading card game. So we'll be building our deck to really exploit those weaknesses as best we can. But yeah, this one is very quick.
Oh, you weren't kidding.
Mm-hmm. Mine is the speedrun, gotta go fast. Yeah, so earlier I made the comment that I was really excited to see a Scyther. Scyther is important because it is a grass-type Pokemon that resists fighting, which means it's going to carry us through a sizable chunk of the mid-game. And, like, the strategy we're going for pretty much requires you to have one. There is a bit of a RNG manipulation you can do, where you can set up timing to get a particular Pokemon out of the email packs you get. And I will loosely go over how it works, but at this point, because I don't have to show it off, I'm not going to, like, sit there and grind for a Scyther, which is really good for my time! Okay. But for now, I'm just going to let Raichu hard carry me through this next section. Bird. I'm gonna say no to her right now just so I can save, so that if I lose I don't have to reduel Joshua. Okay, gonna put Bill. Got myself a electric energy, good energy to remove the Squirtle, and gnaw away. But yeah, as you can see, like, I'm just menuing at kind of my default speed for menuing in this game. This game is one of the fastest games when it comes to just menus that I have ever played or tried to speedrun, and I love it. We're gonna pull out Squirtle, Oak, Bill, Thunder Jolt. I'm currently fishing for my... Alright, game over. I didn't realize she had a Blastoise in that deck. I should have, by the fact that her deck is called Go-Go Rain Dance. Okay. Lapras is fine. Anyway, Sky, if there are like questions from chat or anything, I'm just gonna keep talking about what I'm doing until, you know, we have other things going on. Because there is just a lot going on as you go through this, as you can see. You know what? Waste of an energy removal, but, you know, kills. What do you got? Annoyingly, the plus power boost also applies to the damage you do to yourself. So, if I flip Tails on Thunderjolt after using it, yeah, that's game over. It will do 20 damage to me if I have a plus power on, which is rough. Yeah. Squirrel. Okay. Holding water energy somewhere. Let's just rip that off. Squirtle. Gonna oak away the hand. Bill. Defender. Sure. Defender, conversely, will actually protect me if I flip Tails on Thunderjolt from the self-inflicted damage. Throw a bunch of cards back. Grab an oak. Play oak. Bill. I swear there's a second Pikachu in this deck. I swear there is. There it is. Okay. And that's game. We win. So I have the backup Pikachu, and I Thunderjolt for lethal. Okay, we go over to the Rock Club. And now's the part where we put that Scyther into action. Ooh, nice computer search. Alright, where is Scyther? Oh, I got 2 of them. Nice. I didn't even notice. Is mostly useless in this version. And we take out all our lightning energy. We put in all of the grass energy we can. Another Delver colorless and some fighting. All today. Right, no, it's good. Scyther's an interesting Pokemon because it actually has one move that only costs 1 grass energy, and then the actual damaging move it's got costs 3 colorless energy, which makes these double colorless we have in this deck exceptionally useful. Of course, we're getting paralyzed, which is just as rough here as it is in Final Fantasy 1. So we're going to use this opportunity to start bulking up the second Scyther that we opened in order to keep on going. But sadly, it looks like this Scyther might get stun-locked to death, which is always unfortunate. Chris can be kind of annoying like that. Especially if we don't draw our full heals.
So, Leggy, I have a question for you. You were talking about questions earlier?
Yeah.
When was the last time you ran this? Was it when I was doing commentary with you?
Probably. It's been the hottest of minutes. Like, and that's actually the last time I did FF1 PSP 2 was at the Frame Fatales event where I ran it last.
Wow, I loved having both of those here in one stream then. That's awesome.
Yeah. These are just really good marathon games, and I'm glad I get a chance to show them off here. Even if I am just getting stun-locked to heck and back. Scyther, still a great Pokemon. Not putting on the greatest show right now. Don't worry, that'll change.
It was definitely one of the best Pokemon cards of that time. It was just so pliable in decks, you know? Like, it was so versatile. You could use colorless energy, and pretty much any energy could fill that gap, and it just went.
Right?
30 damage, free retreat cost. It was so good. I remember how busted double colorless energies were back in the day until somebody energy removaled them. Then it was really sad.
Mm-hmm. I need a potion here, I think. Maybe the best play for me to get through this Tauros. Yeah, unfortunately... Yep, that's a reset. Yeah, that was a very slow fight, unfortunately, to lose.
So let me ask you this, as a speed runner, how do you know whether or not to reset early on in a game or not? Because I feel like that's one of the hardest things about running this game, yeah?
Yeah, and the answer is, I don't know anymore. I'm too rusty. But, like... The longer answer, and definitely the more accurate answer, is it involves having enough game sense to know when a fight is going to not be worth slogging through, even if you're still going to win. for the purposes of this showcase, I've just been resetting when I am guaranteed to lose. Because I know that it's good there. And, like, that last fight in particular was unclear how long it was going to take to get through. Mostly because after, like, the 5th consecutive paralyze, I started just, like, honestly tuning out what my opponent was doing a little bit, which is not good in a speedrun of this game. Because you just have to be so reactive all the time. Yeah, no, I'm just gonna throw this one back. Honestly, I should just... These stun locks I should just throw back. But, like, you know, you start getting it... As you play this game more and more in a speedrun setting, you start to get a sense of, like, okay, this is gonna be a good fight, this is gonna be a bad fight, this one's gonna be kind of mediocre. Like... And sometimes you just get the god fight that lasts 2 turns and you're done. Like that. Look how much easier that was this time.
Oh yeah, definitely. And like I said, just budgeting time alone for this just seems so difficult. It's like,
yeah,
well, this could go better, but if I reset now, that's a guaranteed time loss. And it's just, there's so many different scenarios that I would have to run through while trying to run the game at the same time. It's a lot.
Yeah, and like, if you're learning this game, my recommendation would be don't think about any of that. Just try and learn what you need to do to get through any given fight. And try and understand, like, okay, if I do this, that, and the other thing, you know, like, and this is how I beat the fight, and try and get a sense of what your opponent can do in any given fight, what Pokemon they have, what things you need to look out for. For instance, Leer is annoying because it means I can't attack. Which means I can't set up my sword stance, which means I won't be able to one-shot this Rhyhorn unless I see a Tails. Twice in a row, and since I know that I could get hecked on the next one, like right here, where if I had gone for sword stance there, it would have been useless. So, you know, you build game sense as you go, and honestly, in my opinion, that's the most important thing when you're starting to figure out this game. And once you build some of that game sense is where you start learning, like, okay, where are good places to reset?
Yeah. I was just thinking, this is before Scyther had an evolution. I'm like, oh my goodness, this game is old.
Right? Yeah, no, this is pure Generation 1, you know? We don't even have, you know, Johto Pokemon in here yet. Yeah, but now that I have the second Scyther on the board, if I do get leered by Rhyhorn, I can switch between the two of them. And because I'm no longer the same Pokemon that was, you know, in front, Leer no longer applies, even though it's a different Scyther. And so this should clean up very nicely.
Oh, and if you think these songs are really good, just wait till we get to the Grandmasters.
Yeah. So, we're halfway there. Whoa.
So let's see, we are 48 minutes in right now, counting up, mind you, and our estimate is 131. What do you think so far, lady?
We're halfway there. I mean, what else do you want from me?
No, that's perfect. I wouldn't have it any other way. You're good.
Okay. There's a rat. Rattata is a very good Pokemon, especially this early on in the Pokemon trading card game. So you know what? The other thing that I have not shown off this game yet is you have a bit of the ability to rewind time if you want it. Because the game auto-saves after every action you take. So you can go, if you do a soft reset, it'll take you back to the start of your, to where you were on your turn. It does not save on the opponent's turn. So I was able to see, you're evolving. I want to use Swords Dance so that I can get through you faster. And it could be really cheeky. As a kid, I actually found out that I could do this. Specifically, I found out that I could do this in the middle of searching my deck for cards. And when you're searching your deck, the game presents the cards in your deck in the order that they actually are. And then when you're done searching, it'll shuffle them. So I was able to use that information as a kid to, like, peek at the top of my deck when I really shouldn't be able to.
I mean, it's okay when you're playing a video game. You know, I wouldn't do that against a human opponent, but against a video game, especially one from 1998, against an AI, that's fine.
Yeah, but it's a neat little trick that I, am still proud of figuring out as, a tiny leg.
Of course.
So this is Ken. He is the captain of the Fire Club, and as you can tell, he uses a lot of Fire-type Pokemon, like Jigglypuff. Okay, there's a Growlithe. Sarcasm over.
But I was enjoying it. I get it, though. Arcanine is not nice, and the funny thing is, from what I can remember back in the day, the non-promo Arcanine was only an uncommon. It was a diamond back then, until the promo one came out, which the promo one was so good, might I add.
Alright, we're gonna do this like this. We're gonna Gust of Wind up that Jigglypuff because it has the energy on it, and knocking out a Pokemon, is useful because if they have an energy on them, that energy goes away. And basically, if you play Magic, if you knock out a Pokemon, you're basically hitting them with a Land Destruction spell for however many energies they got equipped.
Oh yeah, Gust of Wind is an evil, evil trainer. I almost said spell. See, I'm so into the Magic mindset still. Trainers are basically how you play Control in old school Pokemon TCG.
Right? And still in new school, I think.
Oh yeah.
Alright, so we got another Ronald fight. This is also a feel free to lose it. We'll see how it goes. I might wind up just killing the Electabuzz, depending. But, I need you to do damage to me, Ronald, so that I can die and the game can be over. Yeah, we're getting rid of this Electabuzz. It'll just be easier that way, so he doesn't have to keep trying to hit through my resistances. Alright, there we go.
That was fast.
We do want to do a quick deck edit here. Put some rats in the deck. Rattata. Tiny Pokemon. Does 20 damage with a basic attack. Also resistant to Psychic, which is really relevant in this particular fight. But yeah, this gym in particular is just the battle of the Zero Retreats. Because I don't actually want to evolve Diglett into Dugtrio in this fight, because Mr. Mime's Pokemon power, if I do more than 20 damage in a single attack, will just take 0 damage. It's bad, because Dugtrio's weakest attack does 40 damage. So for this, I'm going to actually keep things as Diglett and Rattata. And we're going to switch out so that we don't get got by Kadabra. Switch back, play the rat. The fighting energy on the rat. Use a plus power to deal the remaining 40 to Kadabra. That might put it back 2 turns of setup. There's the mime. So yeah, this is actually, honestly, my favorite fight in this game.
Yeah.
Just because of, like, all of the, like, shell games that you do between the Rattatas and the Digletts. As, like, you know, Abra is, you know, psychic, so Rattata resists the attack, but Diglett does 30 damage, so it's a one-shot. And so there's actually, like, a lot of really interesting back and forth that you can get up to in this fight in particular. And that was super clean.
That was very clean, and that fight can go sideways pretty quickly. So
Oh, yeah.
Really, really good fight.
Yeah, we are cleaning up. And so now I'm going to get a Promo Mewtwo card, which is going to carry me through the next 3 fights. And I think that's the other thing I really like about this game, is you keep switching your deck up. Especially as you get new cards and to counter whatever strategies your opponents are doing next. So, like, you're constantly upgrading and improving your deck over the course of the fights. We do Science Club, which is... Ah yes, Science-type Pokemon.
That other type of Pokemon that we didn't realize existed, Science.
Yeah. Which is weird because, like, I've got the Mewtwo.
I wonder if Science would have been the 6th color in Magic.
I can see that.
Yeah, Science.
Okay, I'm gonna do something tricky here. What do I want? Grab the bill. So Mewtwo's 1 energy attack lets me take 2 energy cards from the discard pile and attach them to Mewtwo. So by doing so, I'm able to use my 3 energy attack a turn sooner. So I threw back some energy cards to use computer search because I happened to open it. And I'm paralyzed, unfortunately. I probably should have grabbed a full heal there just to be safe, but I didn't bother to check the bench because I'm, going fast, and getting information costs time.
It's true.
And besides, Joseph's free. He says, having fully been walled by that deck before. We are running a Promo Mewtwo deck. That means the only Pokemon in this deck is Promo Mewtwo. So if at any time my Pokemon gets knocked out, I have no recourse. Also, it's going to take 1,000,000 years to draw a hand that has it some days.
Oh my gosh, Lucky! Anybody keeping count?
But hey, we got the opener, so.
Yep.
Like I said, this time I probably just want to grab the full heal to be safe. Well, if I need to rewind time, I can. See how that things look. No paralysis, which is nice. Okay. I'll just take out these primers. My opponent goes digging infinite cards deep.
I appreciate that move.
Oh yeah. Gotta snipe them when you can.
I don't know if colorless was considered a 6th color in Magic. I'm not sure.
So
It was called Waste, but I don't know if that's actually considered a 6th color in Magic. I want to say no.
So technically the answer is no. If you have a card that asks you to name a color, you cannot name colorless. And we had, cards that produced colorless mana for years, gestures directly at the Tron lands, for instance. And just be safe. Which is why when you have cards that say, give a creature protection from any color or colorless, they use that particular templating.
Remember when they first came out, folks were so confused about that. And I can't say I blame them,
Yeah.
We're getting towards the end here. Is this the last,
This is the last fight before our Elite Four.
Yo, let's go. We're only at 102 counting up, so.
Alright.
Plenty of time. You're doing well. Steve just shouldn't be Steve, and I think we're good.
Yeah. I'm feeling very confident with my current state of affairs. Okay, just like the last few times, we're going to pull back some energies. Sadly not a psychic energy, so we'll just have to throw another one on real quick and call it a day in that front. Okay, there we go. Freeze a bird.
Very cool. This is looking really good so far. Just the Elite Four has to cooperate.
Right?
Again, folks, while I have a chance, please be sure to follow our wonderful runner from this evening. Please give Leggy a follow. That is twitch.tv/LeggyStarscream. If you're watching in YouTube, again, that is twitch.tv/LeggyStarscream.
Okay, got one last plus
Such a fun time.
Yee. I mean, it helps that the company is incredible.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. By the way, this is one of my favorite songs ever in any Pokemon game. This is like a top 3 favorite song incoming for the Grandmaster theme. It's so good. It's so good. I want to see some of your best music emotes when this first battle against Courtney starts, alright? I want to see it. Show me all the cute music emotes y'all have.
I mean, even just this, opening theme right here, like, full-on Iron Chef vibes. So, the legendary Grandmasters have legendary Pokemon cards that all have different effects. All have very different, annoying, and random effects. Moltres is the least annoying and random about it. It simply allows Courtney to draw 3 fire-type energies from her deck. Okay, I've got Dugong fully online. This is going very well against Courtney. Ninetales is a bit scary, but manageable. Yeah, I'm gonna oak this. It just gives me the seal on the bench. Does let me stall the Ninetales a bit. I'm gonna bill. Okay, got another potion if needed. Oops, wrong attack. Sometimes that happens when you menu too fast, you just hit the wrong button.
Oh yeah, that happens to everybody.
Which is another reason why being able to reset helps a lot.
Oh yeah. I think that was originally implemented in case somebody's batteries ran out, yeah?
Yeah. I wouldn't be surprised if it was something like that. I don't actually know the full-on story.
Okay, I know that Game Gear users here are gonna be like, this guy don't get started about batteries, but I went through a lot of batteries on my Game Boy Color.
Oh, I don't even remember. I was, young enough that, oh yeah, batteries, you just put them in. Yeah, the one that always got me were, when I got on my GBA, that rechargeable battery would, just I felt I was 100 to 0ing that in no time at all.
Oh, yeah.
All right, Courtney. Courtney playing nice. All right.
Nice. I believe so much, Leggy. Let's go.
So the good news is we get a chance to save and do some deck edits between fights.
That's nice.
So we're going to make our final deck.
Yeah, rechargeable batteries were a thing. I never felt like they quite did the same thing as disposable batteries.
Yeah, okay, here we go. Steve, who's a legendary Pokemon, the legendary Zapdos, has the power of ruining your day. Specifically, when you play it, it does 30 damage to a random Pokemon on the battlefield. And the fact that it hit his Pokemon and not mine is low-key a miracle.
I believe.
I believe in my power to take on Steve.
Yes.
Oops. Okay, we're gonna keep you slow rolling. But okay, we've got the Doug Trio, which means we're out of the danger zone. Like,
This could take a little while, though.
yeah.
Resistance.
Yeah, luckily we do 40.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, the other thing going on is Earthquake does 10 damage to all Pokemon you have on your bench. So, like, there's a weird tension with Doug Trio between, okay, do I, you know, start building out my bench in case I need to have a backup, or do I just go and not worry about, you know, taking 10 damage a turn? And I should have another pull here, yeah. And so right now, I'm choosing to just keep on trucking. Because this is going quite well.
This is going very well.
And Steve's down.
Hey! GG, Leggy.
Steve had
That's fun.
one shot to get me and threw it away.
Let's go. I mean, to be fair, the odds were very much in your favor there because you had one Pokemon and Steve had a ton, but you know how card games work with luck.
Oh yeah, no, like, I am convinced that in the enemy's hands, Zapdos says deal 30 damage to an opponent's Pokemon.
Oh, wow.
But, like, game proved me wrong. Shockingly.
I see what you did there.
Yeah. Articuno, the second most annoying, will 50-50 odds of just paralyzing you.
Yeah. Not a fan of that.
And if Jack here has another water energy at hand, this fight is over.
That one looked like it was going to take a little while anyway, so this might work out in your favor, Lakey.
I mean, Jack's kind of a stall deck in general.
A player playing cards that looks like islands playing a stall deck? Nah. No, that's not a thing that happens.
Right. Phil. Okay, I do get the Doug Trio this time, so this is actually going to be much nicer overall. Yeah, like, you saw the opening Chansey and then scooping it up to take the damage off it and switching it out for, I think it was another Articuno? I forget. Like, it's already in the past. I don't need to worry about it.
One of the first decks I ever opened from the Fossil expansion was a foil Articuno. The card's gorgeous.
Yo, nice. Such a good card.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna risk it. Gonna hold on to the full heal because I need to get around the paralysis that this boy is gonna throw out a bunch. But, you know, I just need the energy to be hitting Earthquake against Articuno. Just to try and clean this up as soon as I can. Because the longer this game goes on, the rougher it's going to get.
This is okay so far.
Yep. And I've got the backup Diglett in hand. So...
Oh, of course, Scoop Up.
Well, that's why we kept the full heal.
Yep. That was a really good move. I see what you did there.
I'm just like, There's an easier way to get rid of that. More convenient, too. I am gonna hit this one.
Oh, I would. Definitely.
Yeah.
That's a great move.
Yeah, just to keep Jack here on the back foot. Alright, Potion's a nice rip. This is gonna be Confuse Ray, which is always rough. But Flip Tails, so that's good. I had a plus power here. That would be the best because I do 70. Lapras has 80 health.
Confusion's the absolute worst.
Yeah, it is deep enough that I'm going to switch and retreat and just flash.
I love this.
Yeah, these are the plays you start hitting when you play this a bunch. Like, there are shenanigans you can get up to that aren't even like, oh, I'm doing wild things involving, you know, looking at the top of my deck and seeing how it's stacked. Which is one of the things I love about this game is, like, this speedrun. You know, and obviously there's, with the glitch I showed off at the very beginning, there's a category that just does that for the entire thing, and it's also really neat. But it's a very different run. There's also actually a full-on arbitrary code execution glitch that will just, instead of, like, winning the duel, if you do it right, it'll take you just straight to the end of the game, which is also incredible.
Oh, yeah.
And I know Dijon, who I mentioned earlier, Dijon Ketchup, wonderful friend and a fellow runner of this game, did some runs of that a while back. It's wild. It's one of those Pokemon games where you bust out the metronome just to pull it off correctly. Yeah. We're just gonna push for the kill as fast as we can. And keep the momentum going. Don't want to waste any time. Speaking of time, how are we doing?
You are currently almost at 117 counting up. This is looking really good, Leggy.
Yeah. Yeah, some of these endgame fights have been a little longer than I'd like them to be, but all in all, really good run. Yeah, luckily, because we're plowing through things, we're not going to see the legendary Dragonite, which, if I recall correctly, heals 30 damage from all of your Pokemon. Or in this case, all of Rod's Pokemon. And of course, it's a Pokemon game, so we have to fight a rival who's the champion.
It's time for the comeback story here because we had to go fast, lose to Ronald throughout the whole thing. Now it's time that we get Ronald back.
Yee. That's... Please, 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 please give me Dugtrio. Or some way to draw cards. That counts.
That works.
Oh, it would have been the next card too. Amazing.
Oh, of course. Isn't that always the way?
Right? But like, it's worth... It is worth it to not do the time warp and just keep pressing forward. You know, you don't want to give Ronald that extra turn, if possible. Hello, Double Colorless. I saw you come down.
Oh, that's so mean! We were talking about that earlier.
I'm actually gonna item finder back the energy removal.
Oh, yeah, that's a good call.
Land Destruction. It's a fun archetype.
It sure is.
Okay. Cool. So I am stalled for the turn. Because Eevee. Adorable
Plenty of
little
time.
nuisance.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Like, the question I have, of course, at this point, is going to be opening up my splits after this and seeing how this compares to PB. Because, like...
When's that time?
Time is after I acquire all 4 legendary Pokemon cards.
Okay.
Which is going to be in a second. The screen will... after this, we'll go back, have a little more dialogue, and the screen will fade out. I will be calling it shortly.
Okay.
Oh, and time.
Looking like 120.40 by my timer. So congratulations, like you have defeated the timer. Wow.
Yeah, let me pull up. Pokemon trading card game. Any percent. So yeah, it looks like my PB is, once you factor in the extra 8 minutes, like a 109. World record is, I think it's somewhere in the 50s for this category.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if things go well, you can, like, really mume through this game. And, like, you know, I got good RNG. Do not get me wrong. I got some really good RNG in this. But, like, if you get that good RNG for every single fight is where you start getting, like, the really good time.
Oh, definitely. So, like, a couple questions here. Do you have any last-minute shoutouts you'd like to have? Just for either game, just in general.
Gosh, like, I've... You know, shoutouts to the speedrun communities for both games. Shoutouts to the Frame Fatales community, the RPG Valkyries community, the Edge Case Collective. Shoutouts to every person who has been here along the way with my journey to here in speedrunning and still continuing onward and onward, you know. I cherish being able to be a part of this community and hang out with everyone every single day. Shoutouts to literally everyone who shows up to my stream. You all are awesome. You make me happy. You are the reason I keep speedrunning and I keep playing games, because I get to hang out with y'all.
Aw, that's very sweet of you, Leggy. So again, please give Leggy a follow, twitch.tv/LeggyStarscream. And Leggy, would you run either of these games again?
Oh, probably. Like, I don't think I'd grind either of them, necessarily, but, like, derusting and racing one of them, either in, like, a tournament or a marathon or just a one-off with friends, hell yeah. But for both of these, my time is good enough that I don't really I don't want to take the time it's going to need to derust and then put in the number of attempts to get the RNGs I am going to need to get the run all the way through.
Sure. Well, Leggy, thank you so much for being on. I really enjoyed my time with you running both of these wonderful games. And again, one last time, please give Leggy a follow, twitch.tv/LeggyStarstream. Few GDQ things wrapping up here. If you're watching on YouTube, hello, it was wonderful to have you all here. Go to twitch.tv/GamesDone quick if you're interested in looking at our live content starting weeknights at 7 p.m. Eastern and weekends at 1 p.m. Eastern. Tomorrow, we have the first step with Jay, Hobbs, and Keys doing their second playthrough of New Super Mario Bros. At 7 p.m. Eastern, followed by Banjo-Kazooie on Victory Lap. However, this is not the end of our GDQ broadcast tonight. Coming up next is Never Before Seen. Take it away, Amber.